Yes, we have reports that Sowore is planning to lead a protest in Abuja for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. I repeat, Sowore is planning to lead a protest in Abuja for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Igbo leaders, he's calling on Igbo leaders, he's calling on Igbo politicians and those well-meaning Biafrans to join him in that protest to Aso Rock. Let all of us march to Aso Rock and demand for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Is it not shocking that it is coming from somebody like Sowore? Look at what he said. I will set aside my differences with some politicians for one cause. I challenge every politician or person of good conscience from the southeast who says they want Nnamdi Kanu released to stop the rhetoric, stop doing blah, blah, blah. Me, I will be there live. In this protest, I will be there live and direct. Nnamdi Kanu has to be released so that there will be peace. Peace will return to the southeast. Nnamdi Kanu is the key to a peaceful southeast. We know that the governors, they don't want Nnamdi Kanu to be out. They don't want him because the man exerts a lot of influence. And the way I'm seeing Nnamdi Kanu, if he comes out, the way I'm seeing him, is going to push for Igbo unity on how they can equip themselves, then launch again. He will take his time now, yes, to lead Igbos, to unite Igbos, have that consciousness, then we'll launch together. That is what I suspect will happen if Nnamdi Kanu is released today. So Sowore is saying, if you are in the southeast, stop the rhetoric, stop blah, blah, blah. Come and join us. It is time for action. Let us march to Aso Rock Villa. Every governor, senator, member of the house, traditional ruler, priest, Eze, Igbo person, and every Nigerian who believes in Kanu's freedom, come out and do more than talk. I will lead this peaceful march to the Aso Rock Villa. No more empty noise. Let Soludo, you know, when Soludo wanted to become governor, he started preaching IPB message. I am for Biafra and Biafrans. He even visited Nnamdi Kanu. You know, politicians, if they want to get power, they can do anything. That is why when I see bigotry going on in the southwest, the APC politicians, they are smart. They are using that bigotry to fix themselves in power. And when they enter power, they will be sharing the money for their own people. Not the people that they have used their head though. So that is how Soludo used everybody's head. He talked about Biafra at an Igbo World Congress meeting. He talked about how Biafra needs to be free. He wanted to win the hearts of the people. And he succeeded. Then IPOB said, okay, let's allow this man because he's talking from, like he's speaking for the people. They never knew that this Soludo was deceiving them. So Soludo, Senator Abaribe, has been consistent. When the president is supposed to come to, I think, Abia, but he sent Umahi. Abaribe has been consistent in calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. It was one of the shorties they used the last time that Nnamdi Kanu was granted bail. So this is, okay, Alex Oti and P2B and all others who claim to care, step up and join us in person. We go together peacefully, legally, and visibly to demand justice and an end to Nnamdi Kanu's persecution. What is going on is very, very good. Very good. Wonderful. But I hope that we are seeing in between the lines. We are looking at it critically. Yes, like I said, I will be there. Two things. Anything that will make us restructure Nigeria, I'm ready for protest. I will be there. And anything that will make them release Nnamdi Kanu, I'm ready for that. If you look at me, okay, this IPOB boy, my brother, I have friends, they call themselves Oduduwa. I am Oduduwa. They will tell them I am Oduduwa. So if I tell you I'm Biafra, I'm not out of place. I made this assertion the other time. I said, if you, like Nigeria, Biafra, they are fighting war. The Nigerian soldier sees the Biafran man as a criminal, while the Biafran soldier sees the Nigerian man as a criminal, depending on which side you are standing. So if you don't understand my struggles as an Igbo man, or my history, if you don't understand where I'm coming from, and I say I'm supporting Biafra and restructuring, and you say that I'm IPOB or whatever, it is because you are standing on one side and on another side. If you stand where I stand, you understand why I'm supporting Biafra or the release of Nnamdi Kanu. From your own perspective, you think maybe Nnamdi Kanu is a criminal, this and that. See, the Nigerian government, if we were to come before a court, international court, and the actions of the Nigerian government is put on the table, almost all your politicians will be jailed for life. Almost all your politicians will be jailed for life. So, in the context of criminal, it is because it is in the Nigerian government side we are in. That every other person that is fighting for freedom is a criminal. There is no struggle without bloodshed, though, in the world. If you look at nations today, how did the Fulani take over from, like, have their presence in Kwara? It is through bloodshed. How do people take over territories? It is through bloodshed. So who will now take the Fulani to ICJ? That they are occupying illegal land. They took this. It is because of where they are standing. They are standing in Nigeria. So Nigeria, whatever Nigeria sees as criminal, does not necessarily mean that it is criminal. It is the Nigerian government that went to kidnap Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya. That is a criminal act from a government. But who will put the government under trial? So if this match, if there's this procession, if it's going to happen, I'll be part of those that I want to see. Let me see those that have been talking about, they need to show workings now. It is now you need to show workings. And again, see, let nothing happen to Nnamdi Kanu, because we have reports that this guy is having health issues. Let nothing happen to Nnamdi Kanu. If something happens to him, you see, all these people you see online that you say they are supporting Biafra, all these people you see online, they are not the real supporters of Biafra. Biafra, the people that are supporting Biafra, they are where they are. They are looking at everybody. They don't mind. You can say everything you want to say about the Southeast or whatever it is. I know we have our flaws. We have so many flaws in the Southeast. But that does not stop us from pursuing a common goal. I prefer an Igbo nation to a Biafra at a point. I prefer an Igbo nation to a Biafra. You know why? You see the Nigerian state. Nigerian state, you know, say Southern Nigeria, now in the field, Northern Nigeria. And the way we have been brought together forcefully, is not making us move forward. There's no progress. The way the forceful union is not making us progress. And there's nothing any president can do to fix Nigeria. You can only try your best. And the system will go back to factory resetting. Factory reset. It is when we have to restructure the country in a way where we have regions or separation. However, we can now be serious on developing ourselves individually. Individual nations. And we also have connections. We can have free visas into our countries. And we'll be vetted. Yes, our immigration law will be easy for us to enter one country and another. Because if we don't do like that, my brother, the US will be wanting to sponsor somebody against the development of Nigeria. There will be a protest that will come soon. And this protest is being sponsored by the US. Yes, to destabilize the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Because of that statement they said at the United Nations General Assembly. There will be, that is their way. That is their way. So there's a good reason why we need to restructure this country and release Nnamdi Kanu. Let me tell you, I can stand on that. Releasing Nnamdi Kanu would never escalate the situation in Southeast. I repeat, releasing Nnamdi Kanu would never escalate the current situation in the Southeast. In fact, if Nnamdi Kanu is released today, the kind of jubilation that will be in Southeast Nigeria, people will be willing to know what is next. Whatever that young man says, in collaboration with the government of the day in the Southeast, the so-called Southeast leaders, whatever he says, the people will be willing to invest in the prosperity of Igbo. But as it is now, there's no unity of purpose. I'm sorry, the Southeast does not have an agenda, does not have a path they are moving towards. The so-called leaders, they are visionless. They don't know what to do. Yes, but the light lies in Nnamdi Kanu. And I know that the Fulani will never like these things though. The Fulani releasing Nnamdi Kanu will be a greatest undoing, because they know that releasing Nnamdi Kanu will bring a kind of consciousness whereby an Igbo man will start thinking home. Yes, those ones that are lost in Lagos, maybe they don't think about home often. If Nnamdi Kanu is released and Nnamdi Kanu is in the southeast pushing for a movement of unifying Igbo people and also developing the region, I think people will start thinking home. But with the likes of these governors, these Ohanese and all these people all around the corridors of power, I don't think people want to think home anymore. I don't think so. So as it stands, if you're a senator, wherever you are, if you are a Southeast stakeholder, Sowore is calling everybody to come and march. I don't know whether it is going to yield results, but whatever it does, that thing does, it is a statement. It is a statement to the federal government. Some people are saying that if we go and protest, they will shoot us, this and that. My brother, struggle is struggle. Struggle is struggle. These people that he called names, Soludo, Senator Abaribe, Alex Oti, Peter B, that he's calling their names. If they all move together with him, they are not shooting anybody. They are not shooting anybody. If our governors, if our stakeholders, if our giants were in support of an Igbo prosperous nation, with the consciousness that we need to liberate ourselves from the shackles of these colonialists that have put us in Nigeria with other people, this slavery that we are experiencing in Nigeria, because the Igbo man has become totally unwelcome in Nigeria. If we had leaders that understood the plight of the people, we will not be here. If they were at the forefront, genuinely pushing for the Igbo nation, a prosperous Igbo nation, we will not be here. So if you see a Peter B in front, see Soludo, Alex Oti, and this guy in front, my brother, they are not going to shoot anybody. I'm very sure of that. Look at the last elections. The last protest, end bad governance. Who were those leading it? We didn't see prominent figures. 2015, that APC wanted to take over power from Jonathan. You saw Buhari, you saw all of them. Osubajo. Now then stand in front, they lead the protest. And you cannot fire these people. Let them shoot Soludo. Let them shoot Alex Oti. Let them shoot Peter B. It is going to awaken another kind of consciousness in the Igbo people. So struggle is not easy. So if you are afraid to march, all those ones that if Nnamdi Kanu has trial, Igbo groups will be going to Abuja and they'll be afraid. This particular marching to Abuja, if we march to Abuja, the confidence to still go there will be there. If we put out that statement, the confidence, the government will have no choice than to listen to the people. And we just have a little time. This one way Tinubu did there. Because if Fulani enter, my brother, don't expect anything. If Fulani enter, they go change everything, rewire everything from up to down. They don't care about anybody. An average Fulani man sees Nigeria as an Islamic country. And they don't think the way you and I think. Both the educated ones, both the illiterate ones, both the poor and rich. All of them, they think alike. They see Nigeria as an Islamic country. They see Nigeria as a country that don't need to divide. Because it benefits them the most. If Nigeria is restructured, Fulani will not go. This Fulani will not go get anywhere to stay again. No, they will become orphans. That's why they will fight with all their might, their blood. That is why the likes of Fulani and Buhari, of Malami and Buhari, spent billions of naira going to kidnap somebody from Kenya. They had to even commit a crime to snatch Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. It tells you how desperate the Fulani they are. So it will be very interesting to see Sowore and P2B side by side, and Igbo leaders calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. And I tell you, if Nnamdi Kanu is released, that does not mean that the people of Southeast will vote for Tinubu. No. Tinubu already has his way of winning the elections without the Southeast. Yes. He just needs to do one or two things, blah, blah, blah. And he doesn't even need to get second in the Southeast. Let me just get a number of votes and reduce your votes. He will become a spoiler in the Southeast. Instead of the P2B, maybe P2B will have like 100,000 votes in the state. APC will come and make sure that they scatter everything. you might be getting 50,000 votes. At least they will participate to spoil your vote. So Tinubu does not really need the Southeast vote at the moment with the kind of structure or system we are practicing to win elections in Nigeria. So releasing Nnamdi Kanu does not warrant that the Igbos will start supporting the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu 2027. No. It is going to give a sense of responsibility from the angle of the government. Politicians can use that release for propaganda and push a certain agenda in support of Tinubu's government from the Southeast. In fact, today, Tinubu released Nnamdi Kanu. The politicians will now say, Tinubu always wanted good for the Igbos. Nnamdi Kanu will be seen having his self-treatment and everything, speaking about Igbo consciousness, speaking about how Igbo should come back and build and gain capacity, supporting also restructuring. You see, the Igbos will have, within the second tenure of Tinubu, they will have forgiven whatever hatred they have for Tinubu, it will have reduced by far. Yes. So that release is very important too. Very important. Let's look at reactions. Let's look at reactions today. We have Nelson Collins. He says, this is the kind of leadership and moral courage Nigeria has been waiting for. When words turn into action, history is made. The call for Nnamdi Kanu's release is no longer just an ethnic sentiment. It is a national test of justice, unity, and conscience. Setting aside political divides for a common cause shows strength and not weakness. A peaceful march to Aso Rock isn't about defiance. It is about dignity. It's about reminding the world that freedom, fairness, and human rights are not privileges, but the pillars of any true democracy. Because we all had vice president fighting for Palestine while injustice sleeps and cruise in his country. Yes. For the fact that Nigeria as a country was fighting for Palestine the same way they should also fight for Biafra. I repeat, since Nigeria is saying that they want a two-state solution between Israel and Palestine, they should also know that there needs to be a two-state solution in Nigeria, or even three-state or four states. Yes. You cannot say there's injustice happening to Palestinians and you forget the ones happening at home. So it is going to make sense. And you know, Israel and US, they will want to take advantage of this. They want to take advantage of this. Israel says that, hence that they are supporting Palestine, then they will start supporting other little countries in all those states that have supported Palestine. They will start supporting Biafra to have their freedom. Not because they really wanted, like, it was their priority, but because of the circumstance. So let's look at somebody says, this call by our leader, Omoyele Sowore, carries the moral weight that separates pretenders from patriots. For too long, politicians from the Southeast and beyond have hidden behind carefully crafted statements and empty sympathies, pretending to support Nnamdi Kanu. Yes, while quietly protecting their political comfort zones. Sowore has once again challenged the conscience of this nation, and this time there's no place to hide. When a man like Sowore, who has no ethnic or religious bias, declares that it is time for action, what excuse remains for those who claim to represent the Igbo people? Nnamdi Kanu's unlawful detention is no longer just an Igbo issue. It is a Nigerian question about justice, freedom, and the right to dissent. If the Southeast governors, senators, and traditional rulers truly believe in equity, let them stand shoulder to shoulder in front of Aso Rock instead of speaking from the comfort of their offices. The truth is that Nigeria's political class has normalized cowardice. They know the truth but fear to work with it. They know injustice but prefer to dine with the system that sustains it. That is why Sowore's challenge is revolutionary. It strips away every pretense and forces every so-called leader to choose a side, the side of truth or the side of silence. Those who claim to love Nnamdi Kanu must understand that real love for freedom cannot exist without sacrifice. If Kanu could face prison for speaking his truth, then what stops the rest of us from working peacefully for his release? The fear of losing political favor? The fear of the state? or the fear of exposing our hypocrisy, Sowore has shown again and again that courage is not the absence of fear, but the refusal to bow to it. This is not about partisanship. It is about the soul of this country. The same government that locked up Sowore for demanding good governance is the same government that continues to detain Kanu against court orders. This is the same government that kills protesters and then preaches democracy at international gatherings. And yet our so-called leaders watch in silence. This march is more than a protest. It is a mirror to every Nigerian who still believes that change can come without personal involvement. It is a call to conscience, to the priests who preach justice but stay quiet, to the traditional rulers who bless injustice with cultural silence, and to the politicians who make statements but refuse to take steps. If justice means anything at all, it must apply to everyone, regardless of tribe or ideology. Today it is Nnamdi Kanu. Tomorrow it could be anyone who dares to speak truth to power. This is why this march matters. It is not just for one man. It is for the principle of freedom itself. Comrade Sowore has shown the challenge to defeat of the powerful. Now, powerful leaders in Igbo land, come and show workings. Now, it is time to show workings. If you are not showing workings, that means you are a hypocrite. You don't believe in the Biafran cause, and you are not supporting Nnamdi Kanu. The only reason why you are supporting Nnamdi Kanu is for your political ambition. Yes, Sowore has thrown the challenge to the feet of the powerful and the silent alike. Those who truly believe in injustice, those who truly believe in justice must now prove it. It is time to show workings. Not with words, but with presence. This time, to walk the talk. This time, walk the talk. History will not remember those who wrote statements. It will remember those who stood up and worked for what is right. This is a very, very good take from First Wealth. Those who always say Sowore should work with P2B, now tell P2B to join Sowore at the barricade. This is a challenge to Southeast stakeholders and leaders. It is time for you to show up and tell us that you really want Nnamdi Kanu to be free by joining this protest, this peaceful march to Aso Rock, demanding the release of Nnamdi Kanu. It has a lot of benefits. May God help this country.